know, they have a great reputation as conveners around really important topics. Very happy to see John here to help frame this discussion, but I think that you will find that you have an outstanding panel, and I'd like to invite them to join me. John Hanger, Adam Kramer, Quentin Abramo, and Gary Aksamit. I'm going to give each of them an opportunity to introduce themselves briefly. They all have extraordinary backgrounds, and you will see as they introduce themselves exactly what they bring to the topic. And given what John offered us, I think as we move forward, we have a handful of questions for you. I want to advise the audience that we do plan to have you participate and would like to have you share your questions. There are cards that have been made available to you. Rob is showing you the card. They will be collected. And we're going to try to leave about 15 minutes at the end of our panel discussion to give you an opportunity to participate. Good deal? I mean, I know you all just had lunch, so I mean, first off, panelists, water? Anybody need to hydrate? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, very good. Gary, I think I really ruined your name, but we'll figure that out a little later. The first question that I would like to ask you all to consider will be one that each of you will be given an opportunity to address, but why don't we begin? Adam, can you just give us a bit of your background, please?
Thanks. So I'm Adam Kramer. I'm the Executive Vice President of Strategy for Switch. Under my umbrella are helping actually run the Innovation Center here, as well as Government Affairs and Energy. And for Switch, energy is very important to us, but most importantly, sustainable energy is the most important thing for us, and finding a way to continue to be leaders in sustainability through not just energy efficiency, which is something that our CEO, Rob Roy's patents have helped us do, but through actually using green energy to power all of our facilities with 100% renewable power. And Switch has been involved in creating the open energy market here and been a champion of question 3 since the very beginning. We truly believe the things that John was saying about how this will help transform the market, and as we as a state talk about what the new Nevada may look like with companies like Tesla and Faraday and Apple and Switch and others that come in, we think that having this competitive energy market is fundamental and critical to our success going forward.
Good afternoon. My name is John Hanger. I am from Pennsylvania, and I've had 4 public offices, been a public advocate for customers of the Philadelphia Gas Works and Water and Sewer Department. Represented residential and small commercial customers, or about 500,000. Did that really right out of law school when I was a legal service attorney, helping low-income families and community organizations in utility disputes. Often it wasn't so much a dispute, it was there was no money to pay the bill. And these were not deadbeats. These were folks who just didn't have the money to pay the bill. And often the bill was far higher than it should have been. Which made a bad situation obviously even worse. I was a commissioner of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission and led the restructuring effort. I love the word restructuring. I know it's wonky, but I do not believe in quote-unquote deregulation. I believe in competitive markets and with rules and proper oversight to enforce those rules. And I thought John Wellinghoff did a good job sort of laying out that very important distinction. We, in fact, did restructure Pennsylvania's market and allowed full retail choice starting in 1996, and I'll be glad to provide a little more detail on that. I've also been a president of a advocacy organization working on clean energy in Pennsylvania, and we were able to, in fact, bring to Pennsylvania 26 wind farms and over 250 megawatts of solar. Now, this guy sitting right here is building 180 right now, so I'm jealous of that. That was also part of my experience. I've been the Secretary of the Department of Environmental Protection with Governor Rendell from 2008, 2011. One of the big things then was using the money that came from the stimulus program, which was a huge boost in Pennsylvania on clean energy. We've spent that money very, very well. I want to thank Harry Reid for making sure we got a good chunk of money. And of course the shale gas revolution. So that's played a big role in power markets, wholesale and retail markets. And I've also been the Secretary of Policy for Governor Wolf. Currently, my current role is I do energy consulting, and I'm also a businessman in the medical marijuana space. That's green, and it uses a lot of energy. So look forward to the conversation.
Thank you very much. Am I on? Yep. I just didn't have it close enough. Thank you very much. My name is Gary Aksamit. In a previous life, I was a futures trader in Kansas City and Chicago. Starting in the late 90s, I moved to Texas and got involved in the restructured electricity market. Restructured, I will agree with him. Let's not call it deregulation, it is restructuring. I got involved in the restructured market in Texas and built up some of the biggest books of business in what is commonly referred to as a multimeter space, which is bodegas, kiosks, your fast food restaurants, so on and so forth. That has manifested itself into a full-fledged, fully integrated energy business. I have about $1.2 billion right now of construction moving forward of wind farms in the Midwest, moving into the peaker space, and actively looking to acquire a trading desk and start trading power in Houston. About 4 months ago, I stepped down as CEO of my company because I came to the realization that I was the most underqualified person in my company, even though I'd created this beast, and hired a brilliant mind, a gentleman who came from Enron actually, but was not part of the fiasco in any way. And I'm now pursuing a pet project. It's called Americans for Electricity Choice, and I very much see myself and my group at Americans for Electricity Choice as being consumer advocates. And what's going on in Nevada is the tip of the spear. I don't know whether people in Nevada fully grasp this, but there are a lot of states across the United States that are watching what's going on in Nevada. There seemed to have been kind of a lull in here for about 5 or more years where nobody was talking about retail choice, nobody was talking about consumer choice of any way or shape or form in the electricity business. I can tell you Monday morning I will be in Wichita, Kansas, talking to a group of people similar to yourselves who are not happy with what's going on in Kansas. We're having these same conversations in Nebraska. These conversations are going on in Wisconsin. I've heard talk that there's groups in North Carolina as well as in Georgia. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there's a wave moving forward in this idea that to go back to a comment that was previously made in the opening remarks, that I really think that the utilities have completely missed the ball. I think they beyond missed the ball, and I cannot put my finger on why. They have missed this renewable energy revolution in a great big way. I will shock everybody in this room. I'm probably one of the biggest renewable energy financiers and developers in the business, and I'm a Republican. Has that been something? But when all the fish are going one direction, I decided to go a different direction. And so we're in the policy business as an organization, American Electricity Choice, and I hope that I can bring a little bit of value added to Nevada and try to check some of those boxes that are a little further down the policy spectrum, if you will, talking about how to make sure that the consumers in Nevada all get an opportunity to be part of a level playing field. So it's not just the big businesses that can benefit from this. I mean, I'm sure everybody's read the headlines. There's been a lot of machinations going on with some casinos that have wrote some pretty big checks. The fact of the matter is that the consumers probably can't do that necessarily. So we need to have a level playing field. And even though I think a lot of people see my political ideology as, government bad, and no. There needs to be oversight. there needs to be oversight. Somebody needs to make sure that every single consumer has a fair shot at being able to do what they think is in the best interest of their homes. If someone wants to buy 100% green renewable energy, they should be more than willing and more than capable of having that opportunity. So thank you very much.
Oh, wow. After listening to my fellow panelist and Rose, I thought I was busy. Not a chance. I'm here representing small business in Nevada. I've moved here in 2005. I started several small businesses since 2005, and the good news is I'm still here. The reality is that our business, my business, Faciliteq, by the way, my name is Quentin Abramo. My business is called Faciliteq Business Interiors. We're in downtown Las Vegas. As you can imagine, 2005 to just recently was probably some of the toughest times for small businesses in Nevada. One of the things I did do when I came to Las Vegas is I bought an old garage in downtown and created a LEED Silver building. And I share this with you as a small business owner because my business is directly related to what I call high performance interiors. When you consider the business world and in generally the consumption of energy within the United States, business is by far the largest consumer of energy. Therefore, we have to look at small business, large business, and all businesses on how to best or follow best practices to create a more efficient operating expense. As a small business, having a LEED Silver building in the beginning, I think a lot of people thought, you spend a lot of money. Why are you doing this? I can tell you after operating that facility for the last 10 years and another facility that I've been involved with, there is a lot of value in best practices when you look at clean energy and when you look at energy sustainability and when you look at managing your energy cost. After your resources, your personnel, even small business, after their human resources, the next largest expenditure is your operating expense for the facility that you are in. Therefore, having a choice and having the ability to look at different options in reference to how you deliver that energy to not only your building, but in addition how you consume that energy is extremely important. So I'm honored to be here, and thank you, Jennifer, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, panel. Thank you very much. There are occasions where it's really sort of important to know your audience. So I'm going off script a little bit, but I just like to see who's in the audience. So Quentin's a small business person. How many small business owners do we have in the audience? How many representatives from government or regulatory agencies? How many just plain consumers? I know that we have some representatives from our large gaming industry or large users. Can I see your hands, please? And who might I have missed? Nonprofits? And then environmentalists. So you see, everyone has an interest in what happens in about 18 days with respect to this ballot initiative. So my question for each of you is, how will this ballot measure ensure that clean energy development has a place in a well-regulated open market? And how will the restructured market ensure that all customers have the opportunity to access clean energy to power their homes and businesses?
I'll start from the group that's helping to lead the campaign. I think then the context of how it's looked in other markets is important. We adopted a set of principles for the Yes on Question 3 that address exactly that, and we worked with environmental and consumer advocate groups to make sure that we were hitting on these points. In fact, the genesis of Question 3 was to deliver low-cost renewable energy to all Nevadans, because there's no reason that we shouldn't be utilizing the resources John